Hey everybody, I'm back. I know it's a couple of times this week. You're probably sick of seeing my ugly mug, but I've got a really good looking chap that's joining me today, and Mike Blackburn. Mike, how are you today?
Hey, Bill, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. And I'm actually, you know what? I'm not. I'm not fantastic. I'm a little bit upset. And I'm upset of why I'm just hearing about this passenger link thing that you guys have at Add-ons a couple of days ago. I saw it in my email, and then I post about it, talk to you guys, and I see this lengthy, kind of post from Sam Rubin, one of your power users who's crushing it with passenger link, and then Just Sandu comes in and, kind of does the same thing. He's using it for groups and events and all this type of stuff. I don't know what the hell it is, Mike. Tell me about passenger link.
So Passenger Link is a mobile interface that is supplied to your customers, usually a certain amount of time before pickup or at a status change. And we text your passenger a link saying that your chauffeur's on the way. Click the link to see them. They're going to get live tracking if you have GPS, or if they're on Driver Anywhere, we can use the Driver Anywhere phone feed and track them. So they'll get the picture of the driver, they'll get the vehicle information, the plate number, they'll know exactly the ETA to pick up. So that way they can come out and meet their driver when their driver arrives, or contact them directly right through the interface.
So that sounds pretty awesome. That's why I was kind of excited about this. I obviously didn't have that technology when I was an operator, and I'm a huge proponent, as most everybody knows that follows my stuff, about pre-trip, post-trip, and most importantly, the communication. And this provides communication that a lot of people aren't doing. But I do have a question for you. How, for a lot of the Limo Anywhere customers may or may not have ZipWhip integrated, and they're sending a text message, and they may get a little bit confused if they're doing status updates, hey, vehicle en route, driver on location, passenger in car, using ZipWhip. How is Passenger Link different than them using ZipWhip integrated with Limo Anywhere?
So actually, we integrate with ZipWhip as well. So we will use your ZipWhip number to supply them the passenger link, or we can supply you a phone number and it'll text from our system, and if you don't have ZipWhip.
Got it. But I guess the deep integration that you have with Limo Anywhere is really the separator, I think. Is that to where you might send via ZipWhip, and this passenger link is not just text updates. I heard you say GPS, right? So, and I'm sitting here looking at what Sam commented yesterday, and the thing that I love is, and I'm going to read this verbatim from Sam Rubin from Four Seasons Concierge. Imagine having the concierge bell desk greet you as your vehicle pulls up at the hotel with, "Good afternoon, Mr. Faeth. I've already checked you in to room number 2828, and the bellman hands me the key and then escorts me to the room." Well, the only way that's really going to happen is if you have the ability to, and you mentioned GPS, right? So I assume that passenger link, that's not a manual process to where I have to go and pull bill face, trip, pull a link, attach it to GPS, then put it into text message and send it. That's all happening behind the scenes, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, we integrate with about 17 different GPS vendors. And then we also use the Driver Anywhere link as well for tracking. So
that is totally awesome. I love that. So you can send text and email, correct?
We do have an email option. It's an affiliate email option. So if you want to add in an email address into any of your accounts in Add-ons, we can send your affiliate all your status history of the trip and live tracking details, so they can stay apprised of the situation as well. Or if you have an admin, we had several clients that admins need to know exactly where their bosses were. So you can add in the admin email address and they can stay up with their location.
So it's kind of like a breadcrumb trail, status by status that's sent out after the trip is complete, or is that in real time?
It's in real time. It's in real time. So it's a desktop version of Passenger Link. We call it the affiliate email, and they have live tracking along with the status updates and the history all on one link. So they're not notified 5 times as the trip progresses. It's just one link and it's going to update.
That's extremely cool stuff. What happens with an affiliate ride? Is there a way to segment between how Passenger Link would work with, say, a group or a dedicated hotel in communication with a concierge versus an affiliate client?
We do identify farm in versus a farm out, and you can rebrand for a farm in. For any of your affiliates, you can either deactivate it. So if you don't want to keep your farm in jobs working with PassengerLink, you can hit, don't send this for farm in jobs, or you can rebrand for each affiliate that sends you a job.
And explain that to me. What does that mean to rebrand? So like literally, are you talking like white label? So if I have Bill's Limousine in Nashville and, Boston Coach is sending me trips, I can actually send passenger status updates, GPS tracking, baggage claim, meet and greet links to YouTube videos, whatever, and have that branded as Boston Coach?
Absolutely. Yeah, for any of your affiliate accounts, you can upload a logo, or if you don't feel like uploading a logo, we'll just rebrand with the words, Boston Coach. So
that is really
marketing your affiliates.
That's really cool stuff. I love that. What am I missing? Because I hadn't even heard about this until about 2 or 3 days ago, and I want to make sure that we're covering everything on the capabilities that PassengerLink can do, because I think what hopefully all of you that are watching this understand, the reason that I'm doing this stuff with Mike is because of the fact that this is how you're going to make more money. This is how you get stickier with your hotel concierge, with your travel managers, with your executive admins. This is how you get stickier with Jess Sandu as an example. He commented and he's talking about how he's using this with his group. So I would imagine that, well, he said he's sending information via PassengerLink to the individual travelers that are getting onto a shuttle. And then he's able to send separate information, status updates, possibly capacity, whatever it is, to the event manager / DMC. So what becomes really interesting to me is, one, tremendous client retention tool. But for me, it's an even better tool to put into my sales toolkit to explain to my buyers exactly how we're going to have better communication flow, so they get to customize and know where their passenger is, what the status is in real-time basis. And from what I heard Mike say previously, we can get this whole aggregated breadcrumb trail. That is some pretty cool stuff. And if you explain it that way, that's giving you a competitive advantage when you're selling against somebody that's not using this tool. So am I missing anything, Mike? What else can this amazing tool do?
So, just having the driver's photo, the vehicle plate number, the vehicle information, it gives your client peace of mind. They know exactly when they're pulling up. That way they're not standing outside the airport searching through 100 different cars, or if they're walking out on the wrong side of the stadium, to try to find your driver. We've had operators tell me that they've saved trips because the driver was going to the wrong hotel. And the driver got a call from the client and said, hey, you're going to the wrong hotel, and they'll end up saving their pickup that way. So just the safety aspect as well, with all that's going on and with these, TNC drivers out there, knowing this is my license plate, this is my car, giving your client peace of mind. Clients tend to expect this now, and if you're not supplying this information in a timely manner before pickup, then they're going to wonder why not.
It's kind of interesting that you bring up the client kind of saving the trip with this by, telephoning or radioing, whatever it was, and texting to the driver saying you're going to the wrong hotel. I think for people that don't operate in Philadelphia, Boston, Chicago, New York City, and Manhattan, they kind of don't really understand how important that is. And I live in a kind of a sleeper mid-size town of Nashville, but now we even have hotels in our small city of Nashville that have multiple entrances on multiple streets. So you can have a main street, main entrance, and then 2 different side streets for hotels. And getting that right entrance when the client's either requested or you've instructed for the client to go to a specific entrance is imperative. Mike, I remember a large group I had with Philips Healthcare out of Bothell, Washington. I think Jess Sandu does some work for them now up there. And they were going, a lot of their clients we had a huge group in Manhattan. They were at the Javits Center. We had a lot of clients going in and out of Penn Station. And if you're familiar with Penn Station, there's like 5 or 6 different entrances and exits around Madison Square Garden and on, just all the different streets. I don't remember what their names are, but it was an absolute cluster, a nightmare for us And I think now, from what I've learned just in the last couple of days about how my life could have been made so much easier, how I would have had less deviations in this group if I would have had something like this. I love the way that Jess and Sam are giving the use cases of how they have used the passenger link. Can you give a couple of more use cases of how you've seen some of your clients use the passenger link?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. So we also work with a lot of shuttle companies that run corporate shuttle. They run per seat ticket sales, shared rides. And so Passenger Link can go out to all of your shuttle riders as well. Once a driver starts a route, they'll all be notified via text, and they'll have the link to be able to track their shuttle. They'll know that shuttle's 5 minutes out, or they might have missed it by 5 minutes. But just having that information in all of your shared rides hands is going to reduce your missed pickups and your inbound calls significantly. They can contact the driver directly, text them directly. We just blast the whole group once the driver starts the route with us.
So what you're saying is, let's just say that you have one shuttle bus that's running from Hotel A to Hotel B, and the conferences or the meetings at Hotel B, right? So basically, if the 7:30 a.m. pickup starts at Hotel A and you're going to move 200 people through the course of 3 hours, let's say, you literally could start notifying them at 7:30 a.m. or 7 a.m. or whatever it is, and then they would have that active link to really see where that shuttle is, if it's at B, if it's at A, or if it's in between, so they can, know when they need to come out of their session, their meeting, whatever it is, to meet the shuttle. Is that kind of how it works?
That's absolutely how it works. You'll have an ETA to pick up, ETA to stop, that'll continuously refresh as the driver gets closer to their location.
Wow, that's pretty cool stuff. What else does this thing do, Mike? I mean, can it make my Eggo waffles in the morning?
Unfortunately, it can't. It does link in with our surveys platform. So if you're using our surveys, you can actually rate your driver right through the same interface. We're all about supplying all that information in one link. That way you're not notifying your riders multiple times along an update route. I've sat there and I've been in other states and used our operators, and I get 4 different emails. Your driver's assigned, your driver's on the way, your driver's on location. I get hundreds of emails a day. I don't want that. So I get a text. I get one link, and I can stay up with their status. I know when to come out of the hotel. I can rate them, I can text them, I can call them, all from that one link.
It's funny that you bring that up. In my travels, I've experienced the exact same thing. I talk about this a lot with my Limo University community about customizing the communication channels, because it sounds like you and I are very similar. I mean, if I'm going to Nashville to jump on a flight, it's 10:15. Let's say I've got an 11 a.m. flight. I mean, I'm getting emails, text messages, notifications, driver information. Then I'm getting, drivers on the way, drivers on location. Then the driver calls me. And if I'm in the middle of doing this, I don't want that type of communication. Now, let's say that I'm on a short flight to LaGuardia or Newark or Baltimore or Boston. That's only a 2-hour flight or an hour and a half flight. I'm already probably starting to get information from that second ground transportation company as well. That's really annoying to me. And I think that's something that I love. I would love, if anybody services me, to send me the passenger link and then let me track the vehicle on my own. I don't want all the other stuff. And I think it sounds like you're kind of in the same boat, Mike.
Absolutely. We're all about supplying information when it's necessary, no clunky apps to download. And then when it's not necessary, it goes away. There's no permissions granted or storage space you're taking up on somebody's phone, even for a one-time use. If you're getting one ride out of one person, once a year, they're not ever going to download an app to use you.
Right.
So we're about supplying that information when it's necessary and then having it go away when it's not.
That's awesome. Chariots of Hire out of Knoxville, Tennessee says, we've been using this feature for more than 6 months and our clients love it, especially the driver's picture so that you know who to look for at the airport during pickup. That's great stuff. We have Maria Priestley, Limo Girl out of Atlanta. She has a question. She says, Here is my challenge with this feature. I found this to be amazing as long as I fulfill the trips or affiliates that use Limo Anywhere, but the challenge comes when others don't use this service, therefore not providing consistency with my clients. How do you solve this challenge? Is that like an OS, meaning operating system to operating system challenge, Mike, or is that something GNet potentially can fix, or is that not fixable?
Actually, it's fixable within our platform.
Okay.
So when you farm out a job, if I was to send Bill's Limousine a job, I can send this to my passenger for my farm outs, and they'll still get my branding. They'll get your driver's information as long as I put it into the reservation. And then if they're on Driver Anywhere, I supply the tracking. If they're not on Driver Anywhere and they're not on Limo Anywhere, you can use our driver status functionality, which will keep your customer in with the tracking through that. So your clients are getting the same consistent experience, whether they're on Limo Anywhere, whether they're with you, whether they're with one of your affiliates, you're still sending them the same message. Let's say a driver doesn't have tracking, they're using a flip phone or something like that, and you don't have GPS information. So we'll still send it if you would like, and we'll just label it with the pickup address and the driver info. You just won't have tracking on it, but they'll have, this is a pickup address and this is the driver information, click to call, click to text. So we've tried to cover every different situation with that. That way you have that same consistent experience across the board.
That's very cool. We don't call those flip phones anymore, by the way, Mike, just to let you know, we call them Scott Salambrino phones because he's the only person on the planet that still has one of those. But no, he actually got rid of his flip phone. He's got an iPhone now. So just in case Maria's, and we might have taken her question slightly out of context. She's using your platform, so I assume she's doing this for her clients. But what if she sends a client to Bill's Limo in Nashville and I'm on Fast Track or Livery Coach or another platform and I don't have this? I mean, there's really no way to bridge that. If I don't have GPS, if I'm on a different platform that doesn't integrate with this, if I don't use it, there's no way to be able to get around that. So in that case, you really would have to have this, if you want this feature as part of your vetting process, right, Mike?
So if I send you a job and you're on a different platform and you don't have GPS, we have a driver status feature, which is almost, it's almost like Driver Anywhere. The driver will get a text message and it'll have a pickup location, it'll have flight tracking, and it'll have 4 buttons for on the way, on location, client and car, and that will allow for tracking as well. So we've got coverage for your operators that aren't on Limo Anywhere.
That is, that's pretty cool. I mean, you don't even need GNet or, any of the piping in between the two systems to be able to do that. If you guys have any questions about the passenger link or for Mike, please leave a comment below. Mike, what else do you want to tell us about passenger link? I mean, it seems pretty simple, but extremely robust in its capabilities.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. I can show you a screenshot if you'd like, if you want to take a look.
Yeah, let's see that. That'd be awesome.
Let me try to do this here. Yeah, so can you see that okay?
I can, yeah, absolutely.
Great. So yeah, this will be your driver picture.
Is that me? Oh, that's Daniel.
You'll have your license plate number right in here, the vehicle description, should you have that, and then ETA to pick up, along with the tracking details. We can relabel the vehicle icon. So if you want to use like a black car versus a bus, if you're doing shuttle work versus just standard black car service, you can change that out. And then we have click to call, click to text functionality within this. So again, this is just sent out by text message, and that's fully customizable. You can change the wording to whatever you want. It'll rebrand for any affiliate work, should you want it to. And then you can send it out based on a time. So we can say, send this out 25 minutes before pickup. That way they have 10 minutes of tracking before your 15-minute spot, or you can have it sent on a status change. So if you want to have it sent when driver's on the way, or some of our New York operators only send it when driver's on location, because they tend to run things pretty tight in that city. You know, you can have it sent when they're only on location. And then we can rebrand for any affiliates right through here. We can use account logos, and that'll rebrand for any of your affiliate work should you upload any logos there. So we can activate it for certain vehicles. We can turn off for certain accounts as well. So if you only want to use it for, you know, certain accounts, you can just activate it for those accounts. You know, you're doing funeral home work, obviously you're not going to want to be sending those passengers any tracking details. So you can always deactivate that.
And you can do that at the account level, Mike?
Yeah, we can definitely do that by account level.
Awesome.
You know, and again, we can turn this off for farm in jobs or turn it off for farm out jobs should you want. That way you can only manage just your in-house trips, for example. And then we can also provide a warning if they've got like a stale GPS feed. We can say, don't send this if I've got a 15-minute delay in my GPS feed. So if their GPS is cut out, you know, we can either supply them a warning and say, hey, you know, this GPS hasn't updated in 5 minutes, or we can just say, don't send it at all if it's stale.
Right. That's awesome stuff. And you know, obviously it looks like you can customize it, you know, 99% of it, just like you can in almost all of your features, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're all about customization. You know, all of our operators, there's very few that use this identically, you know, the same. So yeah, we you know, each one is tailored to their uses in their operation.
Right. Cool. So I guess the $1 million question, Mike, is how do I get this? How long does it take to set up, and how much is it?
Guys, it starts right at $25 a month. It follows your Limo Anywhere tier level. So we base it off of your 30-day running trip total. So up to 150 trips a month, we're starting out at $25, and it goes up from there depending on your trip counts. You would get this by signing up with us at AddOns.LA. Takes about 10 minutes to build an account. If you have GPS integration, we can always assist, or if you're using GPS, excuse me, we can assist with the integration. Again, I've got about 17 different GPS vendors we integrate with. We're happy to help out with that. And then the setup of Passenger Link itself, it's about 5 minutes. So it's super simple. You upload a logo, you know, you set a couple parameters, and you rock and roll.
And what are some of those GPS systems that you integrate with?
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, like, it seems like the most popular one that everybody's switching to right now is Samsara. Do you integrate with Samsara?
I'm an advocate with Samsara. I definitely integrate. It's about a 5-minute integration process. We've got AutoMile, Azuga, 3CLS, Command GPS, Fleetmatics, Fleet Complete, Geotab, GPS Insight, GPX Walks, Keep Trucking, InTouch, iTurn, LinksUp, NetCorp, NextTrack, NordTrack, Samsara, OneStep, Silent Passenger, Skybit, Street Eagle, TomTom, Track My Fleet, TSO, US Fleet, Zonar. And if you don't have GPS, we also offer our own at about a quarter of the cost of any of these other guys out there.
You really?
Yeah, we sure do. We sell them just at cost, basically, to allow you to use the rest of our platform.
Tell me about that real quick, because I don't know anything about that. Why would I want to buy GPS from you versus, like, say, Samsara? Obviously, I get the cost difference. What does it do?
So our GPS units, they're pretty simple. They're pretty basic. They give you location data, 30-second data updates. So you've got a pretty high transmission level. A lot of these other companies are at 90-second updates, which is stale data in our opinion. We give you full integration into Limo Anywhere as well. So you get all of your GPS data on a new tab in Limo Anywhere. You'll be able to click a car, know the status of the trip, see the driver, see the customer that's riding in the car, you know, all in that one location. That way you're not opening up 3 separate windows and matching up your dispatch data with your GPS data. So they're plug and play. They're ODB2 units. We've got backup batteries that we've built into them. So should a driver happen to unplug one, it'll still transmit right from their glove box for up to 6 days.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great stuff. As always, Mike, I mean, thank you for educating me. Thank you for educating everybody here in the group. Any last parting shots before we go outside of my lisp?
Not at all, Bill. Your teeth are going to be beautiful.
Awesome. Well, Mike, thanks for joining me again this week and telling me all about the passenger link. And, Mike loves everybody to Facebook friend him. So just friend him and ping him with a million messages if you have any questions, especially when he's on vacation.
I love it. I love it. I guess
Mike.
we're broadcasting from Italy next week, I hear.
I think maybe the week after that. I don't know. I'll be here next week.
Right on. Right on.
Awesome.
Well,
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, just leave a comment down below, tag Mike, or go to AddOns.LA, and we will see you next time.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.